Imagine a hotel with 5,000 guests, 1,500 employees, dozens of restaurants, casinos, water parks, theaters, and it moves across the ocean every single day. That's a cruise ship. While it feels like a vacation machine, cruise ships are actually one of the most fascinating business models in the world. Today, we're breaking down how cruise companies actually make money, why tickets are often sold at little to no profit, the hidden profit engines on board, and why cruise ships are basically floating economies. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the cruise industry generates tens of billions of dollars every year, and how every square foot of a ship is designed to make money. Before we really get into this, think about the last time you saw a cruise ship in person. From far away, it looks like a floating hotel, but up close, it's closer to a moving city. Thousands of people, thousands of employees, millions of dollars moving every single week. And here's what makes cruise ships so interesting from a business perspective. They don't just make money from selling vacations. They make money from controlling an entire environment. Once you step on board, almost everything you see, touch, eat, drink, or experience is part of a carefully designed system built to generate revenue. Every hallway, every restaurant, every bar, every activity, all engineered to keep you spending without really thinking about it. And that's what makes cruise ships one of the most efficient money-making machines in the travel industry. So in this video, we're not just talking about vacations. We're breaking down the actual economics behind cruise companies, how they make money, where the real profits come from, and why these ships are essentially floating economies. Let's dive in. The global cruise industry generates over $150 billion in economic impact each year, and just 3 companies control most of it: Carnival Corporation, Royal Caribbean Group, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. Together, they control roughly 3/4 of the entire market. A single modern cruise ship can cost between $800 million and $1.5 billion to build. Yes, billion. And yet, cruise companies keep building more ships. Why? Because when done right, cruise ships are cash flow machines. But not in the way most people think. Here's the first big surprise. Cruise tickets don't generate the real profit. In fact, tickets often bring in very little margin, sometimes almost none. A 7-day cruise might cost $700 to $1,000. That sounds profitable. But that price includes your room, your food, transportation, entertainment, staff, fuel, port fees. After all of that, ticket revenue often just covers operating costs. So why sell cheap tickets? Because cruise companies operate like casinos and theme parks. They make their real money after you board. This is called onboard revenue. And this is where profit margins explode. Once passengers are on board, they spend a lot. The average passenger spends between $60 and $100 per day on extra purchases. On a ship with 5,000 passengers, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars every single day. And the margins on these purchases are extremely high. Let's break down where the money comes from. First, alcohol packages. Drink packages can cost $70 to $100 per day. Most people don't actually drink enough to justify the price, but psychologically they feel like they should. Margins on alcohol can exceed 70%. This alone can generate millions per cruise. Second, casinos. Cruise ship casinos are massive revenue drivers because once ships reach international waters, regulations change. That allows casinos to operate freely, with high margins and constant traffic. Casinos can generate hundreds of dollars per passenger per trip, much of it pure profit. Third, specialty dining. Buffets are included, but premium restaurants cost extra. Steakhouse dinners, sushi bars, chef's tables. Food costs are relatively low, but perceived luxury is high, which means high margins. Fourth, shopping and photography. Everything on board is marked up: jewelry, designer items, souvenirs, photos. Families often spend hundreds of dollars on photos alone, and margins here are enormous. Fifth, spas and excursions, massages, facials, packages, all priced at luxury resort levels. Excursions are another huge revenue stream. Snorkeling tours, city tours, private experiences. Cruise companies often take 40 to 60% of the excursion price, another major profit center. Now let's talk about building a cruise ship, because this is where the economics get fascinating. Modern cruise ships cost close to $1 billion, sometimes more, but they're financed over decades. A ship might operate for 25 to 30 years. Once debt is paid down, the ship becomes a massive cash generator. Think of it like a $1 billion hotel that never stops renting rooms. Cruise companies maximize return by keeping ships full year-round. They move ships to different regions depending on season. Caribbean in winter, Europe in summer. Occupancy rates often exceed 100%. Because most rooms have multiple passengers. The goal is simple: keep every cabin filled, every week, all year. But this business also has huge costs. The biggest one is fuel. A large cruise ship can burn hundreds of tons of fuel per day. Fuel alone can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars every day. This is one of the biggest risks to profitability. Next, labor. Ships employ 1,000 to 2,000 crew members. Crew come from all over the world. This helps keep labor costs manageable, but total payroll is still massive. Then, port fees. Every time a ship docks, they pay the port. Fees can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars per stop. Multiply that across an entire trip, and it adds up quickly. Then there's food and supplies. Feeding thousands of passengers for a week is expensive, but buying in bulk helps control costs. There's another factor many people don't realize. Most cruise companies are not registered in the United States. Instead, they're registered in places like Panama, Liberia, the Bahamas. Why? Taxes and regulations. This allows cruise companies to lower operating costs and remain profitable. This global structure is a key reason the industry works. So why is the cruise model so powerful? Because cruise ships combine multiple businesses into one: a hotel, a casino, a restaurant, a mall, a theme park, transportation, all in one place. And passengers are a captive audience. Once on board, they spend, and they keep spending. This makes cruise ships one of the most efficient revenue per customer models in travel. That's why companies keep building bigger ships, more rooms, more restaurants, more attractions, more revenue. Let's get into it. So the next time you see a cruise ship or step onto one yourself, remember what's actually happening. You're not just on vacation. You're inside a fully contained economy. A place where transportation, hospitality, entertainment, food, shopping, and gambling are all working together under one roof, all designed to maximize revenue per passenger. And once a ship is full and operating efficiently, it becomes one of the most powerful cash flow businesses in travel. If you enjoyed this breakdown of how cruise companies really make money, this channel is going to explore a lot more industries like this. Airlines, casinos, theme parks, tech companies, hidden business models behind everyday things. If that sounds interesting, subscribe. And if there's an industry you've always wondered about from a business perspective, leave it in the comments, because chances are there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than most people realize. I'll see you in the next video.